Thank you for tuning once again. Today's project, we have a bit of maintenance on Mazda 626 or the Millenia on the 2.5 engine. And I just wanted to go over a few things with you guys about the Serpentine belt. What it needs, what it requires, what you have to do. Alright, first of all, what I would advise you is if you're looking for a replacement on this vehicle, get both belts at the same time or check them both at the same time, and we'll go over soon as into why. Alright, so this car is going to have two adjusters. They're not like the modern cars where it's self-adjust. This one you have to do manually, and can be a bit of a pain, especially on this car. But just to understand that on this side you're going to have the AC at the bottom, and you're going to have the alternator right on the top. So this belt right here on this side, you're going to be looking at the belt for the alternator, which is down there. Hopefully you can see it. It travels straight down to the AC clutch compressor, and then it ties up to the crankshaft. This guy right here is the idle adjuster. It moves up and down, and the adjuster, it has a bolt right here, and it's a 10mm bolt. I will advise you to, whatever socket you get, and at least two extensions. 3/8 ratchet as well, and basically you just adjust the belt until you see the pulley, the idle pulley, move up and down. If it moves up, you're releasing tension, and basically the belt is going to have some slack, and basically that's how you remove it. You're going to have another adjuster just like this on this side of the engine, but it can only be adjusted from the bottom of the engine, and basically that is for the power steering, if I'm not mistaken, and also the crankshaft. You have all of those three components there. If you ask me if I like it, I hate it, because you have to adjust it. Sometimes it's a little too tight or a little too loose. It's going to start squealing and making noises. Also, this video will also cover to those that actually want to change the idle pulley. Now this one is not installed properly. Actually, if you look carefully, this bigger ring actually belongs outside, so I have to flip it around, and you need special tools for that type of job. But since I don't use this car during the winter, I will address that at another project. So let's actually move on to why you need to address, or why I would tell you to get two bolts at the same time. You cannot get the alternator. Well, you can get the alternator belt out, but you cannot get the power steering out unless you take this belt out first. It's just impossible unless you cut the back one, the power steering. But then again, you need to actually put it back together, and you need to take the alternator AC belt out. You need to take it out in order to put the new one in. So you have no choice. So we just cover here as into how to create or release tension on this belt. A rule of thumb here is do not put it too tight, do not put it too loose. The belt is going to make noise. And a good rule that I actually practice as in for the tensioner, how much tension you have on the belt, is if you grab it and you're able to bend it a little bit, that's okay. Now if you're not able to bend it at all, that's too tight. You should have at least a way of bending it at least halfway. Now on this car, understand that the belt is new, it's not going to have any tension, so I would advise you to turn the car on, and as in the car is running, if it does make noise, then adjust it. I would actually tell you to do it one at a time. Do one belt at a time. If you're going to do the back belt, do the back belt, jack up the car, and adjust the belt accordingly. If it's too tight, it's too tight. Then you need to, of course, take or create some slack. Then after you have that belt completely done, move over to this one, and then you do the same thing. Why? Because you're gonna be going crazy, going up and down as into which one is making noise. So if you can find out exactly which one is making the noise and you address it, then you move on to the other one, then you know that one belt is out of the way. So let me jack up the car and show you guys what's under it, what's on the crankshaft pulley, and why and how you have to do what I'm advising you to do. Alright, to gain access here, the splash shield needs to be removed. As in for mine, of course, I have to replace mine. It's on the must do soon and replace it at some time in this vehicle's life. So, as into where we left off from above, down here, this is the AC clutch. Right above it, you will have the alternator. And of course, this is the crankshaft. Alright, not much going on here, but what I would advise you is take some pictures of the belt diagram and do it. Right up here, you're going to see the crankshaft position sensor. I need to clean this engine. And as you can see, this is how it goes. Right back here. Let me see if I can get you some light over here. That is the power steering pump. And that is the belt. And as you can see, it goes right behind the crankshaft. This is the bolt adjuster for that tensioner. And I believe the one in the back is shorter than the one in the front. Now, if for some reason you guys are going to the auto parts store, do not buy the 3-month, 90-month, or 1-year warranty on these belts. You know, this is not an easy job because of the bolts that you have to adjust. Get the one for 3 years. You know, it's only a few dollars more, and it's well worth it. If you go to the dealer, you know, more power to you. But this is exactly what you would have to do. Get them both, and inspect them from time to time. And if for some reason this particular belt breaks, you're gonna have the battery light on the dash because the alternator is not charging the battery. So just keep an eye on that and keep that in mind. Check everything else, of course, that you may need, like suspension components, any leaks. I had to clean this engine. I took care of all the leaks, but this is basically what you would have to do. This is on the passenger side that you have to reach and do the work. So let me take you above. That's where the bolt is for the adjuster, for the one that will adjust the alternator and also the AC. So hopefully you can see how it routes. So that's the alternator pulley. It goes under the tensioner. It wraps around the crankshaft, and then it goes and wraps the AC clutch. Alright, the one in the back, as a matter of fact, I take that back. So there is the power steering. Let's see if I can get you guys in there better. That's the power steering belt. It wraps around, if I'm not mistaken, it wraps around the water pump, goes straight down to the crankshaft. Hopefully you can see the straight line down there. Excuse my dog. And then it goes around the tensioner at the bottom that I showed you. Since you guys might be wondering how to also remove the idler pulley, there's no way around it. You're gonna need one of these guys, and this is an uncomfortable job. My apologies about the dog. And this is one of those things where you would have to, of course, take your time. I would advise you to take the overflow hose to the container, take the container out, and possibly see if you can move this upper radiator hose. Not necessarily, it's not necessary, but you might be more comfortable. And of course, Make sure it's not creating a lot of tension, so the bolt can come out easily. Let me see if I can take you in there. But as you can see, the bar is all the way in there. And as you can see, it's right on it. I believe this one is a 17-inch millimeter. I'll get back to you guys in how to do this in a later video. But basically this is how you will remove it. And basically just spin it around and replace it. Now, if for some reason you guys can find the bearing that goes inside and you guys have a press, do it. This part alone is, to me, is quite expensive. This was about $35. And what I was having was the symptoms. The car will run fine, no problems about it, but it will actually make this like grinding noise. And I took it out and the bearing was shot. Replace it, tension it, and the rattling is gone. Now, it's also part of the maintenance that I would advise you to do from time to time. The reason why this part goes completely the opposite the way it is right now is because the inner diameter sometimes will actually make contact and grind with the actual, what would I call it, the actual bracket, and it will make this grinding noise, and it's just horrible. So just make sure that it goes the right way. I will actually make a video in how to install it the right way when the time comes for this project, but not at this moment. But hopefully this video can help you out. Make sure that you do have the tools first. Make sure you have the belt on hand, both of them. I strongly encourage you to do that. And then, of course, change it. Alright, hopefully this video was helpful for those that are looking to change the belts. Serpentine belts or alternator belt with also the power steering belt. You guys can call it whatever you want. To me, serpentine belt is one huge belt, but to me this is just an accessory belt for, in this case, the AC and the alternator, and also the one in the back for water pump and the power steering pump. So hopefully this video was helpful. Thumbs up if you guys liked it. Share, subscribe. I have tons of videos coming up soon or down the line about repairs, maintenance for this type of cars. It really gives me a smile when I see this type of old cars, or any type of old car, in really good shape or well maintained. So hopefully I can bring some more soon. The winter has not been very friendly in my area, so my apologies. I just do not like doing any type of hard work or mechanical work in the cold, But thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good one.